So I'm going to discuss the reason why the South African permanent residency is so much in demand. The two main advantages why people are so crazy about this permanent residency. That I'm going to also discuss two of the easiest ways to qualify for the South African permanent residency. One is through a minor donation. So you're simply donating a very minor amount to the South African government, and you're not donating this until you get the approval. So only once you get approved for this permanent residency, you're going to do this donation. And second, which is most exciting to a lot of people and most of you guys watching easily qualify for this one, is through showing some form of qualifying income. The most exciting part is that the threshold is quite low, so most people do qualify. It's just that they don't know about this process or they don't know how to structure this well. So I'm going to discuss that as well. Now, a lot of programs change on the fly. There are new programs, new citizenships, and my objective is to get you the latest and the greatest as soon as it happens. So if you are subscribed to this channel, it not only helps us grow and does wonders to our channel, but it also helps me keep you updated in a timely manner. So please take a moment, check your subscription, and if you aren't yet subscribed, then go ahead and turn on the subscription. Now let's deep dive. Now, the very first reason why this is so popular is because it's a lifelong status. So it's a dateless lifelong status. You're not going to see immigration again once you get issued this permit. So first thing is you apply, then you wait for a bit. Once you get approved, you do the donation or you show your financial thresholds. And then once you get this permit, it's dateless, lifelong. This is very valuable in the true sense. This is truly permanent, and this is the type of permit a lot of expats want to gain. Not a renewable permit which requires physical presence. That is not permanent. That's as temporary as anything could ever be. A truly permanent residency would never expire. You would never see immigration again, and that is the reason why this is so attractive. That's one big reason. And secondly, the most important, and there's a third reason as well, but the second most important reason is that there's no physical presence. So you don't want to physically live to keep your permit. Even if you don't live in the country, your permanent residency should be there for a lifetime, and that's what is most important to a lot of expats who are availing this type of benefit. So dateless, no physical presence, and the third and the most important thing is the citizenship. Why is the South African citizenship so important to most expats? A lot of people watching this channel, a lot of our clients come from Western countries, and South Africa has a good mix of people, right? It has white people, it has black people, it has other ethnicities. So once you have an African, a South African passport, it looks like a natural option. You could be from South Africa. So someone like an Elon Musk could be from South Africa because he's white, and South Africans could be white, they could be black, they could be from any community. So from a respect perspective, it's a super respectable citizenship. In my opinion, I feel it's safe if you pick the right pockets. If you're being stupid, then you can be unsafe in any country. Even in London, if you're being stupid, you could be shot if you're in the wrong spot. The same theory, the same logic applies to South Africa. If you pick the right pockets, you should be safe, you should be secure. It could be one of the safest places to be. Also, it's one of the most beautiful places to be. If you look at Johannesburg, it's one of the prettiest places on planet Earth. So you're getting a safe, a secure country. You're getting one of the most beautiful locations, getting a lifelong permanent residency that does not expire. There's no physical presence required. And also, in the end, you do qualify for citizenship. The big factor that you need to keep in mind is in the final year, you got to spend some minimum physical time in the country. Of course, you got to show them legally that you have connections or some connections to the country. There's a minimum amount of time that you spend in between year number 4 and 5. That's what they would closely scrutinize. And you do that, and then you apply, and then you wait for your South African nationality. It is one of the lowest hanging fruits. You do need to enter the country once every 3 years. Of course, that's logical, does not hurt. You can hit immigration, do that one entry, and then wait for your citizenship. So these are all the major benefits of a South African permanent residency. At any point, if you have other questions, if you want to immediately get started with this, we have 3 specialist attorneys in South Africa. Depending upon the location that you want to apply from, we use different attorneys. All are excellent, all are connected to immigration. They are the best in the business. There's legal ways to expedite this process under normal circumstances. There's a lot of delay. There's legal pathways where you can expedite this, and our attorney uses that mechanism as part of the package. So you need not worry. Yes, for other people, you might be hearing there's a lot of delays, they're backed up. But as I said, because of the legal ways of pushing this forward, there's always a path. And we specialize in all possible avenues to get your benefit the soonest. And if you want to get started, you can always click the link, book a call. We can have the discussion and hook you up with our attorney. And then you work with the attorney to complete your procedure at a lightning pace. Now, these are the advantages. What are the ways to qualify? Now, how do you qualify for this? As I said in the beginning of the video, there are two ways where you could qualify for this permit. The first way is you give a donation, right? $6,800 approximately. It's in South African rands. You donate this money to the government once you get the approval. In addition to the donation, there's another criteria where you're showing some net worth. Usually if you have a home or if you have some property, that satisfies. This is not a donation or anything. This is a simple CPA certification that you have certain net worth. And a lot of people think that they don't qualify, but no, a lot of people actually do qualify, because you can pretty much show whatever you have. You can show your cars, you can show your property. And we have a specialized chartered accountant in South Africa. So you work with them, provide them with some proof that you have the net worth, and then it's the certification that they would do along with you, and that way you could qualify for this route. The second route, the magical route, a lot of people don't know about this one, is when you show a qualifying income of a monthly income of $2,700. Now this has to be qualifying, right? So if it is not qualified, then you got to legally structure this correctly. Our attorney works with you in structuring your income, right, in a legal way. So there's nothing wrong that you're doing here. You're simply diversifying your inflow. You're structuring that legally, and then in order to qualify through the $2,700 per month route. This is the second way of qualifying for this residency. If you ask me which way is the best way, I would say the simplest possible way would be the donation of $6,800. You're simply paying that one time for the family. And a lot of people ask this second question, where is this donation per person? Is it for a family? The answer is this is for the entire family. So if you have children, if you have your spouse, they all fit under this one donation amount. And some people don't just directly want to get the South African FIP, the permanent residency, directly on their home country passport. And that is where there's a lot of African nationalities that you can acquire fairly quickly and then apply for this permanent residency using your African nationality. Now you might ask, what are the options? Well, the upcoming option next year would be Botswana. That's one option. The second option on this list is Sao Tome and Principe, the 95K citizenship for a family. There's also Sierra Leone. There's also the CPLP and the ECOWAS if you're looking for something more exotic. That's also possible. So you can acquire these nationalities or one of these nationalities, and legally, of course, and then you could apply for your South African permanent residency. And as I said, any point in time you want to start the process, you can always reach us. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and catch you in the next one.